Welcome to The Origin, a political podcast that is completely bipartisan. The only rule is that the candidate cannot mudsling the other candidate. They have to talk about themselves and their policies, not their opponents. On tonight's podcast, Mr. Ram Tyagi is joining me for Aurora Public Library Board. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited and I'm really glad that you are doing it so people get to know about the candidates. My name is Ram Tyagi and I'm a proud Aurora resident for 20 years. I've been living in this area for last 20 years. We moved here in 2005 and since then we have raised our family. I have two boys. My wife is an educator. She has done a lot of volunteer work at different schools and then she started her career in a Montessori school. Now she's a directress at one of the schools. And my boys, like my older one is a junior at Urbana. He's doing com science. He has his own startup. He's like doing really well. And then my younger one is junior at Mathia. They both play tennis. They both have played and represented Mathia at state level for tennis.
Very cool.
So I'm really excited to be here again.
Yeah, that's great. And again, thank you for joining us at Mathia Valley for the candidate forum. It helped you introducing the position to all the students, and that was a great exposure for the students.
Great, and that's when we met, right? Me and you, that was amazing. Yeah.
So the first question for tonight is, what inspired you to run for the Aurora Public Library, and how does your background help you in this role?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. So I grew up in India. I was born there, and when I was growing up, I did not have access to books or libraries. I would just focus on academics, though my father was an avid reader and he would encourage me. He would bring magazines and all that. My mother did not know how to read and write. And I moved here. And then, I saw here like, wow, the libraries are amazing. I would take my kids to the libraries. We would spend lot of time there. It would be my second home during those days.
Yeah.
We will bring a lot of books at home. I would read for them. I'll spend hours just like with the books, and I see the impact on my kids from those books. We spend a lot of time, and later in the years when my son was in the middle school, we traveled to India, and he saw that people don't have access to the non-academic books, so they are not able to have a different vision, right?
Yeah.
That you can get from novels and different kind of non-academic books, right? So we discussed about it, and he founded a non-profit called Library Create, and the objective of that organization was to open the libraries in developing worlds and collect the funds here, and also bring the literacy and also bring the awareness about reading and books around the world. So with that background, when I saw this opportunity that there is a position at Aurora Public Library, I thought I can leverage that experience that we have been working on Library Create. And also, I bring a lot of experience in tech and management, like around 25 years of my background in the tech industry. I have been doing a lot of roadmaps, budgeting, and, also I served on 2 HOA boards. So I know how to manage budgets and how to be responsible when you are managing the money of the taxpayers. So together, all that, sort of inspired me like I should do something for the society. This city has given me so much, and now it's my time to give back.
Yeah. And I think a great point you raised is other countries don't have the access to public libraries like the U.S. does. The U.S. has such a expansive public library system because of how other presidents acted back then, implementing it as federal laws. And it was so beneficial to the U.S. It helped our literacy rates, like you said. And it's just interesting to see a different perspective from a different country on public libraries.
Definitely, it's a luxury and it's like a blessings. We sometimes don't realize, but I can definitely experience that because I have seen both the worlds. Where you just have very limited amount of books, like other countries, they have libraries, but the libraries are not that vast. You don't find the depth and width like that you see here. And also you don't find that many libraries. Like here, you have libraries in the elementary schools, you have libraries in the high schools, you have libraries in the middle schools, you have libraries like public libraries, the board that I'm running for. So you have choices where to go. So it's definitely blessings that, I think I find that, we have access to those books.
So what do you see as the biggest opportunities and biggest challenges facing the Aurora Public Library system?
Yeah, I mean, the challenges that we are facing or we're gonna face very soon, I think probably related to the budget.
Okay.
If let's say we don't have the federal funding, state funding, we will have to manage the budget, very efficiently. We will have to see what we can do, what we cannot do, like where we can spend money and where we need to limit the money. So I think that's one challenge I see. And the other challenge is Aurora is growing. Like if you go on east side, we are growing, and then west side also, like, we are growing like to the other side. So Aurora is expanding. A lot of farmland is being converted into like, houses and commercial properties. That means we need to also see like our three physical locations are enough or not, right? Do we need to increase more mobile books? So those are the, I think, two challenges I see. Like how can we bring the accessibility, and how can we like bring library to more people in a constrained budget, right? You don't want to increase the taxes on people because people are already like burdened with like inflation and all that. So I think those are the two challenges I see. And the opportunity I see, that library management or the board has done a great job bringing and representing different communities and bringing multilingual books. But I think we have the opportunity there to expand it more. Like we can bring more Latino books, right?
Okay.
For that example, because we have big, like 40% population is Latino.
Yes.
So we can definitely, we have opportunity to expand the outreach, right? We also have opportunity to bring more mentors. So like I bring 25 years of experience and I have huge connections, lot of connections. I can bring those people for mentorship. That can create, that can have advantage for youths. Our youth can really like can get ready, like from those mentorship, they can get ready for their next gig. They can have the internship opportunities at libraries. And also I think we can do more for our young kids, like the story times that we have. I feel if we extend the story time from 30 minutes to like let's say 2 hour or 1 hour, I think some working families will enjoy that time where their kids are learning something and they don't need to send them to other schools, so they can save some money there.
100%. And going to what you said about the bringing mentors, and Ashfaq Syed on my last podcast actually mentioned bringing people into Naperville City Municipality Center and giving seminars or having mentors come in and teach kids about certain subjects or other people in the community and educating them on civics and other sectors. So it's a great point you bring up. And it's a great use of the resource we have because the Aurora Public Library system, I mean, their libraries are massive. So it's a great space to educate kids and even educate adults civically if we needed to on the education of voting and
it's
education
a bridge
of township. 100%.
It's a bridge between like people who are on the, like I would say on the, like the people that are working currently, they are also looking up for opportunity to give back to the society. And on the other side, in the communities, there are some people who are looking for knowledge. So it's a bridge. You are connecting two things together.
100%.
People who want to give back and people who want to seek the information.
Yep. So our next question is, how can the library better serve Aurora's population and ensure accessibility for all constituents?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. And the reason it's a great question because Aurora has a very diverse population. We have Latinos, we have Indians, we have African Americans, and we have white population. So it's a very diverse, like all communities are living together. I would say I think we need to definitely increase the Latino books, bilingual books, right? Latino, Hindi books, and other language books. But also on the accessibility front, I think I would work with the community leader, neighborhood leaders, and see if the library is within the reach or not. Can we open smaller libraries, like community libraries, where we provide the books and the literature from the library, but we are opening in a church or in a center which is closer to the people, so it's accessible. See, the objective that I have going into this board is to make sure that libraries are accessible and more people are reading the books, more and more people are reading the literature that is available. So that's like one thing where one thing is like, okay, getting different language book. The second thing is thinking more, opening about more smaller libraries, right? Bringing the outreach. And the third thing I think we can do is like upgrading the technology. Like we
Yes.
are
Yep.
entering into the era of artificial intelligence and generative AI, and we have to make sure our libraries are ready from technology front. And because I have that background of 25 years of experience working with technology firms, so I can definitely see the roadmap, and I can put the roadmap which is also not very costly within our constraint. How can we upgrade our computers, our technologies, so that people who cannot go to the library, they can still have access to the books. So those are the couple of things I would do, and I would plan and make sure that our libraries having reach to youths, to adults, and all ages, all
Yes. Yeah.
communities.
Yeah. And have you seen, I don't know, you might not have seen these, but it's like a library on wheels. It's a mobile library. What's your opinion on that for
I
the
love
city?
it. We have in Aurora, so we
Yes.
have the mobile buses.
Okay.
They go to different neighborhoods and they
Yes.
park
Yep.
there nearby, like a park. Like where I live, we have a park called Butterfield Park, and they have a schedule where bus comes. But we will have to see like where else we can deploy those buses. Do we need more buses? And then also one thing I would do is I will talk to the community leaders. I'll collaborate. I'll talk to these neighborhood leaders and see what kind of, like, they get the feedback, what kind of books they would like to have, because these library on wheels have a limited space. So we will have to be very creative about like what content we put there, what books we put there, or like whether it's a digital or it's like a physical books. I think we'll have to be very clever about it. So I think there's definitely a close collaboration is required with different communities and different community leaders, neighborhood leaders. Like if you go different wards, like each ward has different these associations, homeowners associations. We can work with them. We can collect the
Yeah.
feedback from them. I think my idea or my approach would be to collaborate with the people of Aurora, and then bring the approach that everyone likes. Obviously, when we are bringing the feedback, we can also educate people. Like, how about this? We like board can also bring new ideas, but when you talk to people, you get a lot of creative ideas from people who are not on board, right? Who are like every day using the libraries.
Yep. And that's a great point, because I feel like in politics that can get lost is talking to your constituents about
Yeah.
the issue
Yeah.
and remembering that you are a servant of the people and the people don't serve you, right? So like you said, going out and talking to people in the community about what they want to hear
Yeah.
in the libraries or what they want to see in the libraries and different needs for them.
Yeah.
So SAT and ACT, like standardized testing, their prep sessions are extremely expensive privately.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on hosting public SAT or ACT or any standardized testing public study sessions or help sessions?
So that's another like point I have on my agenda, where I like bring programs for youths, and this is one of them. So libraries are already having programs where you can go and do SAT test in a limited sort of order, like
Yes.
like some hours, right? You can spend. Khan Academy is available, so I would definitely collaborate with Khan Academy.
Okay.
And I would also collaborate with different organizations who provides the SAT test, but they also have like sort of a quota where they can spend some hours for public free and they get some credit, right? So I'm going to work with private organizations to collaborate so they can provide free lessons in the library for the people. Obviously it's good for their business, they get the name, right, that going
Yes.
into the public. So those are the creative ideas we need to bring to the table, like collaborate with private businesses. So you are serving the community, but also the private businesses are also like are interested to come. So definitely I would increase the scope. I would increase the number of hours kids or the youths can spend on SAT and ACT, so they don't need to spend money outside.
100%.
And
And
being
those can get costly. For
exactly being a father of like one who is already graduated from Mattia and the other one is still there, I know it's like very costly. Like just going for 15 lessons would cost you like sort of like $3,000 whatever,
Yeah.
right? If I'm not
Yeah.
outrageously like
They can get up to about
yeah.
$3,000.
Yes.
It's extreme.
It's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look at Aurora's population. Not everyone is very affluent, right?
100%.
So this is another experience I'm having in this campaign, that I'm meeting many people. I'm going into the candidate meets and I'm having these dialogues, interactions, discussions with public, and I'm realizing there are two Auroras. There is a very affluent Aurora. They go to library, they leverage the library, but there is a different Aurora where people don't go to library with the reason because they just want to focus on studies to get the job. They don't have time to go to library, or they don't have that vision. Or so I think you raised the right question. So they don't even have money to spend outside, right? So
Yep.
how do we do something for them, and how do we encourage them to come to the library?
And
That should be another goal.
Yeah, and again, like you mentioned, keeping the taxpayers still a cost low, because you can use, like you said, mentors coming in for
Yeah.
free and doing community service
Yeah.
to actually help the community while not harming or putting a burden on the taxpayers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So our next question is, what role should the Aurora Public Library play in supporting jobs, job seekers, and lifelong learners in Aurora?
Again, like the mentorship thing, I think aligns to that. So my idea is it starts from the youth age. So like in your age, right? You guys, like all the boys and girls, like everyone is looking for mentorship opportunities, internship opportunities, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that you can write on your college essay that we did the internship there. And some kids are not able to find the internship outside, So I would look for the opportunities where we have the internship opportunities at libraries. We cannot provide to everyone, but we will have some opportunities there for
Yes.
internship.
Yep.
Then the mentors that are coming, the experts that are coming, the subject matter experts that are coming, I'll make sure that they are coming in different areas like artificial intelligence, machine learning, anything that is very advanced that will help our youths to find the job. Or it can be in the mechanical, it can be in the design, it can be in the art field, right? I think we can have a nice like a plan and vision and the roadmap, like, hey, and then we can have them coming like every week, every weekend, right? And we can like extensively work to collaborate on the schedule so that we have the right guidance and right expert coming from different areas. So I think that will help our youth, but also we can bring those experts to help the job seekers. Like let's say you are in middle of switching with the jobs, right? And you are looking to upgrade yourself. And you can come to library and we can have a department which can seek the feedback, and accordingly we can invite the experts. Okay, we have 10 people who are trying to upgrade their Java skills. Let's think about it, if there is someone who can come and provide lessons on that, right?
Yeah.
So we can do a lot with the partnership and collaboration with the private companies. There's a lot we can do. And then I'm also going to work with state and federal agencies, because there's a lot of a lot of credits that we can achieve and we can receive. Yeah.
That's a great point because, like you said, internships and job opportunities rely heavily on, let's say, online certificates like for Microsoft Word or Google. So that's a great point. Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you think the library can expand community engagement and increase visitor participation?
Community engagement, I think that's very necessary. And on top of my agenda, or top of my vision, it is stated that I want to make sure that libraries are the community hubs. That means they have all kind of programs where all the communities are represented, and libraries are doing a lot of good work. I see, like, being like from India, I see Diwali celebration happening at library. Recently they celebrated Holi, which is festival of colors.
Yes.
So a lot of good things are happening. I think we just need to build on top of that more and more. Again, going back to talking to community leaders, creating probably an advisory forum where you get the feedback, you seek the feedback, and you seek the feedback after every program, but also you seek the feedback like what else we can bring, right? I think that will, in my view, will help immensely. Also, I think I would say we can also bring community leaders to speak about different cultural street backgrounds, like what we do during the Black History Month. Similarly, we can do about other communities also, right? About Latino population. We can do a lot of program in that area as well. I think more and more we involve the community, the outreach will be there. As I said, in my different interactions, I was told that there are some part of Aurora which don't even want to go to library. So I think we'll have to look at that, like why? How can we bring that outreach, right? What kind of programs we have so that people are encouraged to come to the library.
A public forum is a great idea to have at a library. It, of course, increases community voices amongst local political leaders, and it actually allows the people to be informed on what their political leaders are actually thinking in the community, and then allows them to make their voice heard and their needs to their community. So like a mayor going and speaking at the public library, or hosting candidate forums at the public library.
That's really good, idea. What we have seen. Another thing, actually, one feedback that I was receiving from people, library is not just about the books, right? It's about the literature, right?
Yes.
So one feedback I was receiving from people that, there is no theater, or there is nothing like to have the stage sort of like acts, right?
Yeah.
So we can collaborate again with the city to maybe have auditorium in one of the library, maybe a small auditorium, right? So that we can bring cultural activities. Like for example, we had this forum, the debate, mayor's debate forum.
Oh yes,
right?
yes.
But wish it was like an auditorium, right? It would have been even better. So I think we need to see. We don't need to always think inside the box. Now we need to think outside the box. How can we expand the library's infrastructure? Again, through collaboration with city and private bodies, there will be a lot of donors. Rich people from Aurora who will be ready to kind of contribute into this kind of thing, right? So that Aurora libraries are like kind of standing on top, right? We can create model libraries that other countries or other cities can also learn from. We should not only improve what we have, but we should also think beyond the imagination. And having the theater or that kind of stuff, again, we need to look at the budget and all that. We don't want to increase the taxes on people. I'm just saying whatever I'm saying is within that constraint. But through the collaboration with with governments, federal government, state government, like there's a lot of benefits that you can claim, right, from different rebates and different credits that you get.
Well, in hosting civic engagement events and being a local civic engagement leader in my school, it's hard to find places where you can, outside of school, host events in an auditorium unless you go to a church, which can be expensive. It can get up to $500.
Exactly.
So that's a great point, because you could charge a lower rate at a library of, say, $50, and the Republican and the Democrat townships could come out and host speakers. kids my age could host speakers if they're passionate in politics or passionate in a certain subject. So, I mean, it's a great platform to just host the community and collaborate with the community.
Yeah, and then you bring poets, you bring writers, right? I mean, you bring painters, right? And they talk about their arts, right? And then that's how you seed,
Yes. Yeah.
right? The seed of art, into the kid's mind, into the community's mind, right?
Yeah. And even doing like piano recitals at a local auditorium in a library would be amazing, because then kids are getting exposure, especially if it's from another high schooler.
Exactly.
They're seeing other kids do the arts, and that's inspiring, right?
Yeah, and that is how you bring the communities together, right?
Yeah.
Small programs, but then people are excited to go to, and all ages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our next question is, what is your stance on book challenges and ensuring a balance between intellectual freedom and community values?
So I'm like so this is a topic where we need to again work with other board members, and also you need to like work with the community leaders. But my idea is to provide freedom, like where people where like everyone has access to all the books, and people are deciding what they need to read and what they don't want to read, rather than, because library is an intellectual place. It's like a place of freedom, like art and books and all that is related to that, right? Literature, right? So I think it's all about like giving more all kind of you have all kind of literature there, and also then work with community leaders to see feedback if anything which is creating any issues in the community, right? And work with them, right? And it's always the board cannot decide things unanimously, right? They need to work with community leaders. They need to work with different bodies, temples and churches, and see like what is really working and what is not working. There has to be a dialogue.
Yes, I was just going to say, if you're in the community and you want to go speak to your public library about a book you might feel uncomfortable with being provided in the library, let's say in a children's section, you can go and make your voice heard. And I think what you brought up, I mean, the board is not going to know that book is making kids uncomfortable or parents uncomfortable if it's never talked about.
That's right, yeah.
So to talk to your community leaders is how they're going to be educated on what the community needs, right?
Yep, that's right.
Why should Aurora residents vote for you, and what impact do you hope to make if you are elected?
Thank you. I think this is what everyone is going to look at, right, when they vote.
Yeah.
So I bring the right experience and right leadership that we need on the board. I think I'm the most qualified person. If you see all the candidates, I bring like 25 years of management and technology experience. I have served on 2 HOA boards, so I know how to manage budgets and how to collaborate with people and community. Like in HOA board also, you collaborate with your community members, right? Your residents. And then serving on the Library Create board, guiding my son when he was like founding this literacy organization. I know what we need to bring the literacy in the society and what we need for libraries. So definitely I bring a lot of experience that equips me to deal with day-to-day problems that our libraries are facing or will face if we have budget crunches, we cut, like let's say federal government cut some funding or whatever. I think I know how to manage the budgets, right? And then the vision or the impact that I'm going to bring to the libraries is the fresh ideas. I always think outside the box. Yes. I just don't think to improve something, but I think something different, like the way Steve Jobs used to think. We never knew about the iPhone until he brought the iPhone to the table, because everyone was improving the key-based phones like Nokia and all that. Maybe you weren't not even born that time, but we used to have phones where little screen and keypads.
Yes, yeah.
So every phone company, whether it's Nokia, Samsung, whenever they would bring new phone, they would just like enhance that approach, right? But then Steve Jobs, like at Apple, he just brought this touch base, like sort of approach, right?
Something new.
So this is what I'm gonna bring there. Fresh ideas, fresh vision, and also that's like sort of based on the experience, what I have seen in the industry and what I have seen in the world of literacy. So you're gonna see, and then you're gonna see a lot of collaboration with the people, because it's not my idea or my vision, it is our idea. This is what I tell people when I'm meeting them in Aurora. Hey, you tell me what are the problems you're facing which you want to solve. So this is gonna be people's like board in future. That's the impact you're gonna see.
Yep. And to all of our listeners, if you have not voted yet, early voting has started. I believe it started March 17th.
Yes.
And if you are in the Illinois area especially, I know it started for most townships and cities. So go out and early vote. And if you can't early vote, vote on April 1st for your local elections, which are some of the most important elections you can vote in, because those decide a majority of your living day to day, like your libraries and your school boards.
Yes, I'll encourage everyone to go out and vote. It's beautiful. Like we are in the spring season, the weather is gonna be amazing. So celebrate it, right? And go with family, go with friends, encourage others as well. As you mentioned, local elections impacts our daily lives, whether it's libraries, whether it's like city election or park district election or forest preserve election, like anything you see, it's like day-to-day things, right? Kids go to those places, we deal with every day. So I think we need to we have that responsibility, right, to go and vote and choose the right people from this election.
And if you're a younger person and you're in college and you can't vote on April 1st because you're going to be out of town for spring break, or if you're 18-year-old in high school, you can always fill out your early voting form and turn that in, so you can still make your voice heard in the community and do your civic due diligence.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight. It was a great conversation, and make sure you like and subscribe, and please check out Mr. Ram Tyagi for Aurora Public Library.
Thank you so much for having me here and asking those wonderful questions. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.